Welcome back everybody, Kathy Arbor here, and today is Mixed Media Acrylic Painting Thursday. So, if you were here last week, we did a really cute pumpkin. I put it in here. These are done. This was done last Tuesday. These are the little fairies that I've been doing, and the Tuesday before that, and the Tuesday before that. Oh, I don't know where I put my pumpkin. So we did a little watercolor pumpkin. It was like a pumpkin house, fairy house type of thing. It was really cute. You can check the videos. There's the traceable that was downloadable. I'm not sure where I placed it. I might have left it upstairs. Let me see. Yeah, I must have put it somewhere. I don't know. So, I thought today, being it's the last week for October and Halloween is on Sunday, I was thinking of doing a sugar skull. Hey Devin! And this time we're going to be doing it with acrylic paint, and I'm going to have some napkins, do a little colored pencil on it. But the to make it a little simpler for you guys, I'm going to actually use an image from a magazine, and we're going to paint over top of this. Hi Jilly! So, this is a beautiful book I showed on last Tuesday, and if you want to see the whole book, you can watch that on last Tuesday's stream near the end. Oh, I'm kind of out of... Oh, maybe here it is. Is this it? There it is. Here's the house. So it was cute. And I just did it on scrapbook paper. This was Once Upon a Time scrapbook paper. And then the week before was this little Seeking Honey Bear. And that's just on a file folder. Or actually, it's on a piece of scrapbook paper, but I'm going to glue it onto a file folder. Let's see. Should I get a file folder out or not? Yeah, we'll just use the... This was the first one done in the series, and there's the traceable also for that one. So we're going to do it on the back of this here. Put these aside. I want to protect the back of that, so no, that won't work. I'm going to use some stencils. I don't know where I put all my... I'll just use wax paper, I guess. Sometimes you can use the big plastic Ziploc bags and just cover your area with that. do some couple sheets of this to do. So you can get a magazine out of any fashion, or get a magazine, yeah. Get a face out of any fashion magazines. I don't have a whole lot, but I do have a few really old ones like Elle and Cosmopolitan. They have really good faces in them. And if you happen to find in like Chapters or a bookstore that sells a bunch of magazines. Where did I? Oh, here it is. You can get these magazines, these fashion magazines. They have really good pictures and faces, poses, that type of thing in them. And this one happens to be a matte finish, but usually you can get some pretty good faces. This one happens to be just pictures. You get some really bizarre looking ones too. But like we could use this one, I guess. Maybe we will. So, yeah, let's use this one. But you want a face that's fairly large. There's probably some really good ones in makeup magazines. I don't know if there is such a thing, but you could use that. So we could, let's see if this is going to be too big. No, that actually will fit really nice. Hey Lori, Zandra, good to see you all. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So we're going to paint this. So I could actually put this totally on here. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. So if I just put some matte medium, I checked. It's that fairy, Devin. He's on the rampage. And I want a fairly big brush. Put some of this. Okay, use the paper cast. Got it out for a reason. Let's see. And fold it over. So I just don't want to get a bunch of paint and glue and whatever on the other side of this file folder. So we're just gonna quite a bit of glue on here. And then we'll lay the picture on. It's just one of those catalyst wedges. I like using them for gluing. It's a little more gentle with your paper when you use this. Looks like it's sticking good. Okay, probably cut this off though, or I'll just I'm going to put also a coat on here just so that the face is easier to move paint on. Alright, and then I'm going to dry it. Thanks, Sandra. They were fun. I really enjoyed making them. Thanks, Colleen. Did you get the downloadable? There is a downloadable for that one too. They're a lot of fun. Yeah. Now we're going to paint over this face, so we're not going to worry about those eyebrows or anything. Oh, that's good, Xandra. Puppy's going to do well then. Awesome. So if you're in the membership, the Blooming Artist is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then I will have a video for the Budding Artist on Sunday. And I'll be putting that one up. Probably, it should be up by noon. I want this really good and dry, just because it's we're going to add more glue, more paint, And I don't know what kind of paper this magazine image is on. It's a matte finish though, which is, you don't normally see that in magazines, but kind of cool. So I was looking through all kinds of stuff yesterday thinking, well, what kind of face? Because they usually do a pumpkin face. But I thought, I really don't have time for a real detailed colored pencil drawing. Because they take hours and hours and hours. So I thought this would be kind of a cool one. And then you guys can play along also. And yours will be different, of course, because everybody will have a different image. But the technique is the same. Doesn't matter what image you use. Let's see. Cut this out. Just want to cut around this so I don't end up tearing it. So you can get your napkins. What I'm going to use the napkins for will be, usually they have like flowers and whatnot all over the head or part of the dress. So you can get different size flowers. You could also get stencils out, and we can use some stencils with the collage. Flowers, leaves, tree limbs, that type of thing would work. You can also put whatever else you want. Maybe you want certain things coming out of those areas of flowers, like a birdhouse or a bird or animals. Depends, you know, do you want to do it scary or cute or pretty or... Hey, Darlene. It's up to you. So it shouldn't take that long to do. Okay, there we go. That worked out. So if I have to re-glue anything, I can always do that. Alright, now the first thing I want to do, I'm just going to use craft paint, and the reason being is I want to possibly put some colored pencil on top. So if you're using like Liquitex or Golden, any of the artist grade, it's harder to use colored pencils on top of it because it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. I have my Masterson Wet Palette. This thing is fantastic. I really like it because it keeps your paints wet for days and days. So these are still wet, and that was done last week. So if you want to save a little bit of money on paints and stuff, I would strongly invest in one of these Masterson for me in Canada was the least expensive one. There's different sizes you can get. You don't have to get the big one. But yeah, give it a try. They're fantastic. I really like them. Okay, so sugar skull, it's usually a skull per se, but there's kind of doodles on it. So what we're going to do is we want this to be painted, her face to be more on the white tone. So if you have some titanium paint, white, you can get some of that. What's this one? This is a whitewash paint. Should have enough in here. Let's see, I think I'll just put a bunch in there. It's pretty well done. And I'm going to use probably round end flat brushes here. So this one is a number 8 Royal Atkin, or is it just a Royal? Maybe it's just Royal. And a bit of paper towels for drying my brush. Yeah, they come in different sizes. So this one came with the painting sheets that you put over top of the sponge. So you get a sponge with it. You wet the sponge and then you lay these sheets. Now, I've seen a lot of people use parchment paper also, and it works just as well. So you don't have to continually buy these. I think it's I think they call it parchment too, but they are a little different, but parchment paper would work just as good. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually outline some of my areas with a pencil. Let's see if I gotta. One. Now this is a Sketch and Wash. It's a light wash HB. So I know that actually this will work out her funny eyebrows. So we'll just extend this down like this. This is the eye socket of the skeleton. If you're not sure on the, let's see a little bit more. If you're not sure, look up skull, and you'll see there's different shapes. They're not exactly round, so take that in mind. They are a little bit on the square side, but I'll just actually round them up a little bit so they're not funny looking. But do the way you want to do it. And then the nose, usually this part of the nose where the ball is usually cartilage, and then your actual nose starts up here, right up here. And then there's a center to it, so there's a line that goes down the center. And then, can't remember, is it curved up or curved down? I'm going to get an anatomy book. Just a minute. All right. Let's see. Should be in the front. I think. The main one. There. I will have to try this on my own. Awesome. Okay, there's the skeleton. See how it's kind of square looking and it's on a bit of an angle. So your cheekbones are there. See the little division in the sinus? So actually, this should, I curved it the wrong way. If you want to leave it like that, you can. Depends how accurate you want to be. It's just, may as well be accurate. So this should be higher. So it's actually like that. So this, yeah, more like that. And then this starts up here, so I'm going to leave a little bit there, and then it just kind of a teardrop shape. Like that. And then this is the cheekbone right here, and your jaw is connected back in there. So here's your cheekbone, and that's where it connects. This is your temple, and then this here goes across. It's almost right across from your nose. Not the tip, but kind of up above where the ball of the nose is. So this is where it connects, and then it goes in. So if you want to show that it's a skeleton, there's an area that's you can see through in here. Maxilla is here. So that's where your teeth are attached. I'm just going to put it here for a minute. So, and your teeth stick out, of course. So right in here, and your teeth kind of, they're about there as a skeleton. So we're going to do teeth. And then there's kind of half a heart shape there. And then It's like that. So really in here is your cheekbone. And this is your jawbone here. But this is kind of hollow. And then, let's see. Your teeth go up like this, just below your nose. I could bring that down a little more. And there's your brows ridge right there. Depends how accurate you want. Back with coffee. Okay, so let's whiten some of these areas. So I've my this is a bright flat. Bright means the bristles are shorter. I just find you can have a little bit more control. So I'm just going to white out the areas that would be bone. And the other areas will be black because they'll be kind of the hollow parts of the skull. And I'm going to go right over her nose. And we'll add some shading on this too. So I haven't done Skeletor work for a while. Quite a while since I've done any of this. It's a good one to practice just to get yourself familiar, especially if you're going to do portraits. If you know and understand what's underneath the skin, it'll help with your drawing. It'll help you with the how things curve, how the muscles, where they start, gives it more meaning and understanding of how to do facial expressions because of muscle movement. And this is a great way of learning about it by doing these types of paintings. And then it's not as boring also, because it can get pretty boring. I remember in art school it was boring to learn this, but it was a necessity if you wanted to draw really good portraits. And then after a while, if you were well, where I went to school, if you were good enough, then they picked a few people to go in the morgue and paint, or not paint, draw actual cadavers. And that was kind of creepy. I didn't like it. It just gave me a very, I don't know what you call it. It wasn't an uneasy feeling. It was more of sad, I guess you could say, feeling. Because you're, especially when you're not used to it. It got better as the weeks went by, but you have to train yourself not to view it as a person, but as an object. And that way it's easier to draw. Wishing I had attended more zoology classes now, but I was in the oh, priorities, eh, Julie? At the time. Now I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, this area in here, right by the cheek, because that's muscle and fat, skin, that's forming this part. So if you just bring your paint up to this, we can paint this in the background. Then I can bring this down. Straight down, as the jaw would be. And usually the jaw is kind of square, because you have, again, muscle, cartilage, whatever, that make that up here the way it is. It's a little bit square. Okay, so here, see how the chin is squared off? It's not round. That's because the flesh underneath isn't there. Probably stuck on something. Oh, you lost something, Devin? Yes, that can be frustrating. I would not be able to paint a dead body, I'm afraid. Wait, probably start to cry. Yeah, it is a very, very odd way of feeling. Okay, so that's our basis. Now you can fill in, make it a little bit more opaque if you want. I'm going to bring this out a little bit, I think. Like that. And then we'll paint this in. So she wouldn't have lips anymore. So this will be all teeth. Paint that all in. I'm going to bring her skull up a little bit. Hazel. Bring this out a little. The dome of the head will be up here. I would probably have, if I had have gone into that, it was a teaching morgue, so it was in the Western University Hospital. And luckily, my brother-in-law, he was the teacher of doctors when it came to the morgue. So he was the one that taught the doctors about anatomy. So he was there, luckily, because he has a great sense of humor. And he helped tremendous amount for me getting used to it. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit more on the cheeks. I could tell you a story too, a scary one. That's true. If you want to hear a super scary story that we still don't know why. So it's up to you if you want to hear that. Let me know. Was that a must take or an elective? It was an elective because I was in the drawing program, portraiture, and I was studying under one of the teachers. I was picked to, what do you call it? Protege? I don't know. What do you call it when someone you study under? There's a name for it. I can't think of it right now. His name was Klusman, and he was a fantastic portrait artist. He was one of the teachers, so I got selected to study under him for the last 2 years of my schooling. Tell scary story and makes everyone else listen too. Okay, it's about my brother-in-law. So he was a fantastic guy. He was funny. He was kind. And he was the head mortician for Western University. And he was very good at his job. He was very well known all over Canada with other pathologists. And how many years ago was this? Let's see. This has got to be going back. Oh gosh, 10 years possibly or more. Could be more. I can't remember how many years ago it was. Let's see, this is black, I think. So I'm going to take black here and I'm going to fill in these areas and the eyes, but I'm going to leave the eyeball. So one day in May, just before Mother's Day, my brother-in-law got called in to work and he had to do an autopsy. It was a victim, and that was fine, dandy and everything, and he was supposed to help his daughter move that day. So he said he wouldn't be long, and 4 o'clock rolls around, and my sister had talked to him and he seemed fine. And he had decided, like early on in the morning, that he had to work. He thought while he was there, he had to do some. He got a call for organ. That somebody needed. I can't remember what it was, but anyways, this victim was a match, so he had to do his extraction or whatever you call it. So it shouldn't have taken very long, and my sister called him and couldn't get a hold of him. And his friend said well, I just saw him this afternoon and he was getting his resubscribing to a club for racquetball or something there, and he just renewed his membership, and he was saying he had to go and help his daughter with the move, and he was going to be leaving shortly. He just had to do a few more things and then he would leave. So Donna thought, okay. Then 5 o'clock rolls around. There's still he's not there. No one could get a hold of him. So then they started to worry. And they phoned a friend that worked there and asked, can you please go and check and see if he's still there? And they did, but they couldn't get in because of security. Only certain people have a clearance card to get into the morgue. But they saw his car there, and they said, no, he's still there, I think, but I can't get in because I don't have a card. So then they started to really worry. And finally, the kids had been phoning too, and they couldn't get a hold of him. And then finally, one of his daughters decided to drive down there and see if she could get in, bang on the door, whatever. And she went down, and she couldn't get in either because she didn't have a card. So then they ended up calling the police. And the police came and got the security to go and open the door to where he was working. And when they opened the door, they found him slumped over the body he was working on, and he was dead. And he had puncture wounds on his neck and in his chest. But no one could get into this area without a card. And there was the police, and they did an investigation, and no one knows what happened. The security camera to all the doors showed that nobody entered that room. So after months and months and months of investigation, they decided to call it a suicide. And to this day, I do not believe it was. And I had gone to a medium, and I didn't even mention him, and she said that there was somebody, a male, around me, and they wanted me to know he didn't do it. And that it was a spirit that possessed him. And that's all she told me. No, there's no way. He was happy. He just went and renewed his membership. He was moving his kid. It was so weird. Very strange. I find, anyways, very strange. So you know, and you never know. You never know what the what's being brought into that morgue. So that's what I think it is. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in that type of thing, but I do. Yeah, I'm just going to paint the... I'm actually going to take the ears out, because ears are cartilage, so they're not going to be part of the skull. So we're just going to empty that. Yeah, it is kind of scary. It makes you, does make you shiver. You just don't know. I think I'm going to leave that pink fur, no, hair or whatever it is. Maybe he can have a, or he or she. This could be a he or she. One, on that note, I have to go get my hair cut. Maybe fairies. I'm telling you, they took it. What other? When I lived in Sarnia, Ontario, we had bought this little bungalow house. And we were only in it for a very short time when my first husband he worked for a painting company for like, he painted commercially, industrial type thing, and he got sent to Windsor. So I had to stay alone for the week. He was going to be gone for months and months and months, but he came back on the weekends. And one night, I had this cute little toy poodle. His name was Copper, because he was a copper color. And one night, while I was watching TV, my dog got up off my lap and went and sat at the hallway entrance. And down the hallway, at the very end, was a trap door in the ceiling. And when you pull the lever, a stair would come down, if you know what that is. And my dog sat there and growled at the hallway. And I thought, what the heck? What's wrong? There's nothing there. What are you doing? You know, didn't think much of it, but he kept doing this every single night. So I just thought, oh, it's a crazy dog, you know. Maybe he sees flies or something, I don't know. So after a while, it was about a month or so of him doing that every single night. All of a sudden, I was a night hawk back then. At midnight, and I'm not kidding, I'm not making this up. At midnight, I hear 3 big bangs, huge bangs in a row. So what I do, I get up and I go down into the other bedrooms because I thought it was my hanging plants fell for some reason. So I go into the bedrooms. Nope, they're all still hanging up in the ceiling. That wasn't it. Yes, they do. And my dog started really growling then and started cowering behind me. And that kind of spooked me. So I thought, okay, what's going on here? So I thought, I picked him up and I brought him into the living room. I was finishing watching my show. And then all of a sudden I hear footsteps. Not going down the hall, going across the ceiling upstairs in the attic. Very like you would be walking. It wasn't running or slow, but just regular footsteps, one after another, down the entire length of the house and then back. And it kept doing this, back and forth, back and forth. And I thought, what is that? Is there an animal up there or something? And then I start thinking, well, animals don't aren't that heavy. And it started, well, you know how your imagination can go crazy then. So then I thought, well, I'm going to call the neighbor and see if there's somebody on my roof, because that's how loud it was. So I phoned, and they sent their teenage son over, and I told him what was going on, and he went up on the roof, and he says, there's nothing there. It had snowed, so he said, and I don't see any prints in the snow anywhere. And I thought, well, what the heck is that? And then I said, well, can you check my attic? Is there something? And it stopped by the time the kid came over, so he didn't hear it. So he probably thought I was nuts. So he checked the attic. Nope, nothing up there. Not a single thing. So I started getting spooked, and then my husband came back for the weekend, and I told him about it. And he says, "Oh, come on, you're just nervous about being alone on the weekday. You'll be fine. It's your imagination." You know how it goes. And then I said, there was no convincing him, none at all. So then the next week I thought, well, I'm not staying alone in this house. So I called my twin sister, and she came down. And I thought, well, if it happens, she'll hear it, and then she'll convince I'm not nuts. And sure enough, the stroke of midnight, the same thing happens. And she just freaked right out. I didn't feel that fear of uneasy, terrifying fear. But it was more, what is it type of thing. And then she told my husband, she's not kidding, I heard it, and there's something up there, and he went up, he couldn't find anything, and he was the one that, oh, it must be an animal on the roof. Nope, there's no footprints on the roof. It snowed. So then that weekend when he comes home, we just gotten to bed. It was past midnight. The same thing happens. And I said, see, did you hear that? And he says, oh, that was just, sometimes when it's real cold at night, the nails pop in the roof, in the shingles. That's probably what it was. I said, really? He still wouldn't believe me. And, but you could tell he was a little nervous. I know. You could tell he was a little nervous, and I was just laying there, you're just staring in the night darkness, listening intently and waiting for something else. And then I was just staring at the walls, and it was dark. We had a back bedroom, so the street was in front of us. And we always closed our door at night. And all of a sudden I noticed this round ball of light. And it didn't dawn on me. I thought, oh, it's just car lights. Car lights, when they go backing in your drive across the street, you'll see it on the wall, because it shines a ball of light. And that's what I thought it was at first. And then I thought, no, that's not car lights, because our door's closed and we're in a back bedroom. And it's going around all four walls. And I thought, oh my God. And I'm smacking my husband saying, look, look, look. And sure enough, he looked, and it's car lights. And I said, the door's closed. Oh, what is that? Like that. And then as soon as he got up, it disappeared. So And then it just kept happening every night. And we sold the house. We didn't say it was haunted, but we sold the house. It creeped me out so much. I couldn't live there. It was and the dog was like gonna have a nervous breakdown. But I've had a lot of experience like that. Sorry, Devin. Yeah, I know, it's weird. Well, not every house. Like this house seems to be good. I haven't felt or heard anything. But my house in Port Elgin had something also. And the kids saw it also. When the kids were small, we had a big room in the top floor that two of them slept in there, and there was two big closets, and the kids would wake up screaming like a night terror type of thing, and I would run upstairs. Our bedroom was downstairs, and I'd run upstairs, and the kid would be just weeping in fear and saying, it's the monster, it's the monster, like this, eh? I said, there's no such thing as monsters. See, there's nothing here, you know, like trying to convince them that there's nothing, there's no monsters. And he kept pointing to the closet, and I said, what? And I'd go in the closet. I said, there's nothing there. And he says, close the door, because we had left the doors of the closet open because we had a wood furnace, and the chimney came through that closet, so it warmed that room up. So we kept the doors open all the time. So he insisted on keeping those doors closed. And okay, we'll close it. And I go in, and then I read that you shouldn't say there's no such thing. You should say, go in and say, you leave this house now, like this, leave my son alone, and be the, you know, tough guy that got rid of whatever they thought they were seeing. So that's what I would do every night. And then finally I took them out of that bedroom because I couldn't stand it anymore, and gave them, we had 4 bedrooms, so we gave them the other bedroom, and 2 of them slept in there, and then the oldest slept in the back bedroom. So that was left as a playroom. And they finally, everything was fine. Every once in a while, I'd wake up and the front door would be open, and I'd locked it. And what else happened? Oh, one time we were all downstairs, and my son was playing with his Lego in the playroom upstairs. He was about 5, I guess. And he comes just booting it down the stairs so fast I thought he flew. Just yelling, it's a ghost, like this. And I said, what? And he was just pale. I thought he was going to faint. And he said that a smoky shadow, dark figure came out of the bathroom, went down the hall, and into the closet. And I thought, oh my God, and I thought, well, yeah, no, maybe, I don't know. And then a few years later, my other son that was 16 at the time, did the same thing, came booting it downstairs, and this is in the daytime, and said, I saw it, it was looking at me. And I said, what? And he says, I was just going down the stairs and something came out of the bathroom. It was dark and smoky, and it stood over the balcony and looked at me. I thought, oh my God. So we ended up moving. And I left all of the antique furniture there. Oh, oh yeah, I believed them. Like, they don't say that for nothing. Definitely. And, you know, I would see different orbs floating around. Dogs would always sit and stare at things in the corner. Like, it was weird. But so far, I'm good now. Yes, exactly. Some furniture can be. And we did have some very old antiques. One from a nunnery. And what else? You know, an old chaise lounge that was very old. We left that. I'm just going to paint around these eyes. It was spooky, I must say. So, you know, now I do believe that some people are more susceptible in seeing these things than others. They're, I don't know what you call it, more open to it. Because my one son Matt, he sees, or not sees, when he lived in apartments in Cambridge, they had one in their apartment that used to open the cupboard doors at, in the kitchen and slam them. Could make this one a little bit wider. But yeah, kind of spooky. So any of you guys got scary things that have happened to you? I remember when I was shopping for this house, I went to go through this old Victorian home on Main Street. It was a beautiful looking home, and it was going for a really good price. And so I went to take a look through it, and you know how you get this feeling somebody's watching you? Well, we went in this, my sister and I looked through this house, and it was empty at the time, and it was dark. Didn't matter what room you were in, it felt dark. And then we went upstairs into the attic to check the insulation and stuff. And the whole place had been cleaned. It was empty. And we'll go up into the attic, and right smack in the middle of the attic is this huge trunk. Old steam trunk. Just sitting there in the middle of the attic. And I looked at it, I looked at my sister, and I said, nope, let's go. I thought that was so weird. Okay, now let's draw these teeth. So we get to see the full line of teeth. Where did I put my pencil? I don't want that one. I want a pencil that's not too dark. Well, I guess I could. did I put that thing? Did I put it back in here? Yes, I did. Just going to sharpen this. Yeah, steam trunk. Is that what you had in yours? My cat started at it every night. I heard thumping from the inside of the middle of the night. I drag the thing straight out into the curve. Yeah. Going to the salon now, Kathy. You should start a new YouTube channel. Ghost Stories with Kathy. Yeah, I should. And husband visit us occasionally, but nothing scary. Your mom and husband's mom visit us occasionally, but nothing's. Yeah, see, you can sense something if it's demonic or you know, good, bad type of thing. Okay, so we have a little, let's see, it's going to be like, goes from here in a bit of a curve and like, kind of like a line like this. And then, so that's where the jaw, the teeth will open, kind of. And then the teeth are fairly, from here goes like this. So from this point goes like that. And then kind of up like this. So then you can make, see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So you'll see 7 teeth. So in the center, top will have 7 teeth. So, and the front ones are bigger, and as they go back, now this is probably going to be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doesn't have to be that curved, but. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing, 7. So, but these ones will be maybe shorter, like this, and like this. So they're kind of egg-shaped. You can make them crooked too. So 1, 2, 3. Sometimes if they're crooked, they look a little scarier. And if you add more, that's okay. Okay, so like that. So now I'm going to take this, I think. I'm gonna bring this down a little even more. Like that. Okay, so we can take a fine brush. I think I'll get this one. This one is a number 1. And I'm just going, actually I could use Posca. That's a whole lot easier. So let's get the Poscas out. And use the black. Where did I put the black? There it is. Okay, so right along the ridge you want to do the Posca. Don't go down into the tooth though, because what we're going to do is add a little bit of shadowing. I might take that shading gray I have and use some of that. And down on the bottom too. Let's see, I'm going to bring this around like that. So just a little bit of a curve on the bottom. That. And then also mainly on the top here, so you'll see a little bit of a separation just around the teeth. Do the top one first and then you can do the bottom. You can make spaces between them if you want. If it's maybe you could leave some out too and have them, don't have to have perfect teeth. This is a sugar skull, so you can make it however you want. Scary, cute, do it the way you want. Have you guys heard of the Shelley Artie colorist on YouTube? She works. Oh, that's cool. No, I haven't heard of her. Just reading. Lasmana Art. Hi. Good to see you. All right, now you can either use, Golden has a color called shading gray, or you can use just black watered down. Um, it's a high flow acrylic. Sure, that's last time I shook one of these, it shook all over my white shirt. I'm just gonna put some right here, I think. And I think I'm gonna use a small, I'm trying this with a Mazine pick, but my girl looks more like Paul Stanley. That's funny. So the way this works, this stuff here, I'll show you. This is full strength. So the more water you add to it, the lighter it can be. And you can add on top of it if you want to darken areas, then you can add another coat. So let's try this. And the high flow will dry a little bit slower. So let's do the brow here. So right in here, we still have a little bit where the brow would be, so you would see a little bit of a shadowed area. And a little bit down the nose here. You can make it rugged because your skull isn't totally smooth. And right here, just a bit. And then right in here is where your temple is. So it would be darker. And it kind of goes down like this. So this in here can be dark. You do have time to wipe it off too. Okay, and then in here, and there's a little ridge down there. And there's your eye socket sits out in your face. This is going to be a little bit of a shadowed area here. And then this part of your mouth it jets out. And then there's kind of a concaved area in here. It'll be darker. And right in here. Where your cheekbone is, be darker. I'm shading this area here a little darker. So if it looks kind of funny, that's why. So this will be dark there. A little bit lighter here. And just there's kind of ridges on the top part where your teeth are. And there's a little ridge below your nose. Thanks for coming, Sandra. There. And there's a little ridge on here, just below your teeth. Sticks out. You can probably feel it on your mouth. It's a little bony edge. So I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow underneath the top part of it, because it would be different. So you get a shadow from that. And So this is just the base, I guess you could say. And then we'll add more to this. Okay, so there'd be a little bit of a I think I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Got some green in there. Oh well. And then there's those little ridges here. Just get a picture of a skeleton. Dry brush across. Just give it a little texture. And in here. There's actually two little dots. One here and one here. Sinus dot for the sinuses up here. All right, so let's try that. Hey Jilly, thanks for coming. Have a good visit with your company. All right. I'm going to make this a little bit gnarly looking. It's actually the bone is usually not that even. Kind of jaggedy looking. And we'll do around the teeth. A little more. I guess we could use a pen. If you have a pen. Let's see. That one's not really working very good. Let's see, there's a Sharpie pen. Yeah. So I'm just going to add some of these splits in the teeth. This didn't have any acrylic on it yet, so should be okay for the pen. And parts of the teeth here. Actually, I can probably and then we can just put a bit of shading gray on the teeth. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Can't make sentences while I paint, obviously. We could always add white, more white if you cover them up too much, so don't worry about it. Just kind of go down the center of it, a streak with this shading gray. I'm more covered in the back part though. And maybe a little more on the back of these. Just on the top, a little bit more. I can refine this with colored pencil too. So. All right. All right, so now let's put some flowers in them. We can refine the face a little afterwards. So I've got a bunch of different leaves and flowers that I've gotten from a number of people. I don't remember who gave who. I got tons of them. So we have like poppies, and we have lilies, roses, and Gerber daisies. There's some succulents, more daisies. You could use these, you could use a combination of painting your own, magazine images, whatever you want to do. Let's see what else I got here. The only problem with having a black background though is that these would have to be, the backs would have to be either painted, or you'd have to put it on a separate piece of white paper first and then glue it on. Because the black, once on there, would darken this flower. So depends what you want to do. You can also use, a good one is like gardening magazines or catalogs are fantastic. You can use all kinds of ones out of that. There's some, let's see, I'm going to get a catalog. Alright, so we have, like, these are some catalogs here. Tulips, this is a bulb one. You just cut out a bunch of different shapes. There's a bunch of lilies. Depends what you want to do. Peonies. There's bricks. See if we have any daisies in here. Irises. Mostly bulbs. Okay, so let's do the peonies. Well, those tulips would look kind of cool too. Could do pink ones. There's some on that side. or you can paint them. It's really up to you what you want to do. So we'll put a few of these in. I'm not going to be too cautious about how they look. You can always go over them with a little bit of paint too, just to cover up. I'll show you. And just, it's a good way of learning color as far as mixing your own colors according to what you see. Maybe this guy here. This one. And okay, let's see what we got here. And you can use also stencils. I'm just going to fussy cut this one out. Or if you have another good one for flowers are calendars, if you have any calendars. I like those daily calendars that you put on your desk with the pictures. They're awesome. Especially for this type of thing, because you don't really need a full, like a huge picture. So I find those calendars work the best for me. Okay, so then that could go. Like that. We could always cut around them too. So if you want her skull showing more, I could do that. And this one's going to probably take longer than I would like to in a stream. I might have to go for a bit to feed the dogs. So if you want, or I could start this later on. What would you rather me do? Do you want me to continue and you just wait, or what? Okay. That. That one can go like that. Maybe this one like that. So you can, a lot of the flowers too have a direction that they're facing. So if you take that in mind when you're selecting, you can have it look more dimensional, like it belongs there. And same thing with perspective. You don't want something people know the size of being overly big or small on an area on the face that you would recognize that that doesn't look right. So take that in consideration too when you're selecting. See, this one, it could be facing up or it could be facing down. And then I'll just use a bit of paint, put some more leaves in, maybe some twigs. You could add maybe a bird. go there. Like that. Okay, so let me think. I did get some stencils out. Where did I put them? Oh, there they are. So there's some sticks. You could use parts of that. Some leaves and a bird. More. There's some leaves. Or you could paint them yourself. I'm not sure what that is, but let's use some of this. So take this out, get a sponge and some white or bright green. Green. This one. I'm just gonna that. Take these off. Put some foliage in. I think I'm gonna put that. And then, where did I put those? I could put that one down more. Like that. Right, so I think that's how I'm going to do it. And then, where's my glue? Big glue brush. Thanks, Kim. and just cut off whatever I want. Sure it's good and stuck. Dry it. Hey Brenda, thanks. It's just a paint over of a magazine image of a face of a woman, and you just make him into a skeleton. Alright, then we could get some Poscas out again and add some twigs and stuff. So let's do could do gold. Let's try gold. Haven't used this one yet. So we could have some twigs coming out from behind. Those need to be darker, I think. Let's see. I'll do the face too. sometimes they have Zentangling. On the face. Now I can go back over this and do more shading of the skull without having to worry about this marker. Maybe little dots in the center. Make them however you want. You could do some really elaborate Zentangling, would be cool. If I were doing this off stream, I probably would do that, but I just don't have the time right now. I'm thinking of actually probably start doing more videos. I'll stream, but doing more videos, because that way I can take my time. Let's see, what else? Put a spider. Let's see. How many legs does a spider have? I don't remember. 8 or 6? Oh, you're welcome, Brenda. Um, 8? It's a weird looking spider. Actually, I have one of those bug things that I could put over top of that, but I'd have to cut it out. Could put pearls on with sequins. Is this one? That's dry. Change that one. Let's see. Just put some highlight marks on the teeth. And along the certain areas of the bone will be highlighted. Let's see. Probably, well, I could finish that one, like right here and around here. highlighted. That, and here, parts of the right here. And can't do around the eye. Let me think. Right in here. Do little berries. That. You can go nuts with it. Make it the way you want. Take your time too to think about different flowers, and maybe you want other things on it. Could do a spider web connected to it. What else? Could do pearls. Or what other things do they have? They usually got a lot of different, let's put a round circle here. That. I'm going to color it in. What time is it? All right. I think that's it for now because I gotta go and take care of the dogs. My son leaves in a couple minutes. So I'll probably play with it more, see what else I can do with it. I might actually make the eyeballs round. But play with it. Get a picture of a skeleton, find a picture of a face, and see what you can do with it. So I'll let you guys go. And Blooming Artist, tomorrow at 1 Eastern p.m. is your lesson for this month. And I'll have a video for budding artists on Sunday. So hope you'll get out your magazines and see what you guys can make. I'll post my end result probably tomorrow of this, so you guys can see it. So have a fantastic Halloween weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Stay safe out there and have a fun Halloween. Bye for now.